So there is something called a voltage follower, but before I explain what that is, first I need to talk about a potential problem. So when you have an amplifier design that has high gain, um, when you a lot of times high gain comes with the consequence of high output resistance. What I mean by this is, let's say this amplifier here has very high gain A. That comes with, a lot of times that comes with this consequence of this high output impedance here when you look in from measure from the output. Um, and so why is this a problem? So you can imagine that if the moment you connect this amplifier to something else, let's say we connect it to another amplifier or we connect to some other things, well, now you are passing current through this chain of amplifiers. The moment you pass current through the resistor here, it will consume all your gain and all your voltage swing, and this is not desirable at all. So now we have a trade-off. So let's say we can design an amplifier that has very high gain, but oftentimes that comes with the consequence of having too much high output resistance. So what do we do? Um, the solution is called the voltage follower. What this means is, first you have a first stage, and this first stage provides high gain, but it does not pass that much current through, so even though you have high output resistance, but the effects will not be too penalizing. And then we connect it to a second stage with um okay, so then we connect to this second stage, so I will write here second stage, um and it has no gain. No gain means this A2 is equal to 1. Another name for that is called unity. But the thing is, the important thing is for the voltage follower is when you look in from the output, this second stage does not show any kind of output resistance, or at least the output resistance is as close to zero as possible. So you might be having some design requirement that says that, well, you need to have a high gain. So that's what this first stage provides, the high gain. And then you will have another requirement that says that the output voltage swing needs to be very high and also needs to have very low output resistance below a certain value. And so that's what this second stage, the second stage also we call this voltage follower. Um, that's what this second stage provides. Another name for this is called buffer. Um, and so you can imagine it doesn't amplify it, it just exists for impedance transform. Um, so it just gives us the desired output impedance. Well, so how do we actually make this second stage called the voltage follower or buffer? How do we make this? It's actually very simple. We have our op amp, and then we have our output here, and then we put our input on the non-inverting terminal, and then we put a feedback without any kind of feedback resistor or anything like that connected to the inverting terminal. So it doesn't provide gain. It just exists for having good output resistance, and also maybe if you have some design requirement for high output voltage swing capability. And the equivalent circuit model looks like this. So you have your input here, and then it's like a measure the voltage here in reference to, I guess you call this ground, and then you have voltage controlled voltage source, which is the equation is 1 times V in, and then you take the output up here. So that means it's just V in equal to V out, right? So the gain is 1, unity gain.